South Africa's Constitutional Court has officially declined the urgent application filed by the family of late Zambian President Edgar Chagwa Lungu, marking a significant procedural development in the ongoing legal dispute over the repatriation and burial of his remains. The family had sought direct access to the Apex Court, aiming to overturn a prior ruling by the North Gauteng High Court in Pretoria which authorized the Zambian government to repatriate Lungu's body for a state funeral. However, the Constitutional Court ruled that the application failed to meet the threshold for direct appeal, emphasizing the importance of judicial hierarchy and procedural integrity. The decision, delivered earlier this week, was not a judgment on the merits of the burial dispute itself but rather a procedural ruling. The Constitutional Court stated unequivocally that no compelling case had been made to justify bypassing the ordinary appellate process. In its written order, the court declared that leave to appeal directly to this court is refused, thereby reinforcing the principle that litigants must exhaust lower court remedies before approaching the highest judicial authority. This ruling effectively sends the Lungu family back to the North Gauteng High Court, where they must first seek leave to appeal. Should that fail, their next recourse would be the Supreme Court of Appeal, and only after exhausting those avenues could the Constitutional Court reconsider the matter. The family's legal challenge was spearheaded by Esther Lungu, widow of the late president, who submitted an affidavit arguing that the interests of justice warranted an urgent and exceptional intervention. She contended that no individual should be compelled to bury a loved one according to the dictates of the state, framing the issue as one of personal dignity and familial autonomy. Her plea underscored the emotional and symbolic weight of the dispute, which has stirred public debate in both Zambia and South Africa. The family's position reflects a broader concern about the intersection of state authority and private grief, raising questions about the role of government in posthumous decisions involving national figures. From the Zambian government's perspective, the burial of former presidents at Embassy Park in Lusaka is both a legal requirement and a symbolic gesture of national unity. President Hakainde Hichilema has reiterated that the burial of Edgar Lungu at the official presidential cemetery is essential to uphold the continuity of state traditions and honor the legacy of national leadership. The government maintains that the repatriation of Lungu's remains is not only lawful but necessary to preserve institutional memory and reinforce the dignity of the presidency. Officials have argued that the Pretoria High Court's ruling aligns with Zambia's constitutional and ceremonial obligations, and the Constitutional Court's refusal to intervene further strengthens their legal standing. The implications of this ruling are multifaceted. For the Lungu family, the decision represents a setback that narrows their immediate legal options and delays any potential reversal of the Pretoria order. While they retain the right to pursue ordinary appeals, those processes are inherently slower and may not prevent the enforcement of the repatriation order in the short term. The family's legal team now faces the challenge of navigating a more complex and time-consuming judicial pathway, which could prolong the emotional distress and public scrutiny surrounding the case. For the Zambian government, the Constitutional Court's decision is a strategic victory that consolidates its position and affirms the legitimacy of its actions. The ruling underscores the importance of procedural discipline and judicial hierarchy, sending a clear message that even high-profile litigants must adhere to established legal norms. It also reinforces the notion that constitutional courts are not venues for emotional appeals but forums for adjudicating matters of profound legal significance. By declining the direct appeal, the court has preserved its institutional integrity and avoided setting a precedent that could undermine the appellate system. Beyond the immediate legal ramifications, the case has sparked broader conversations about the politicization of death and the role of state rituals in shaping national identity. The burial of a former president is not merely a logistical matter but a symbolic act that reflects the values and priorities of a nation. In Zambia, the tradition of interring presidents at Embassy Park serves as a visual and ceremonial affirmation of continuity, unity, and respect for democratic institutions. The dispute over Lungu's burial thus touches on deeper questions about memory, legacy, and the boundaries between public duty and private mourning. The controversy also highlights the transnational dimensions of legal disputes involving prominent figures. The fact that the case is being litigated in South African courts underscores the interconnectedness of regional legal systems and the complexities of jurisdiction in cases involving cross-border repatriation. It raises important questions about the role of host countries in adjudicating matters that have profound implications for foreign governments and citizens. South Africa's handling of the case demonstrates a commitment to legal rigor and procedural fairness, even in the face of emotionally charged and politically sensitive issues. In the media landscape, the case has generated significant coverage and public interest, with commentators weighing in on the legal, ethical, and cultural dimensions of the dispute. For journalists and analysts, the story offers a rich tapestry of themes, from constitutional law and state symbolism to family rights and political legacy. It serves as a reminder of the enduring relevance of legal institutions in mediating complex societal conflicts and the importance of journalistic scrutiny in holding those institutions accountable. As the legal proceedings continue, both the Lungu family and the Zambian government must prepare for a protracted battle that will test their resolve and strategic acumen. The outcome of the appeal process will not only determine the final resting place of Edgar Lungu, but also shape public perceptions of justice, dignity, and national identity.